Hey everybody, I am just kind of jumping on the bandwagon that Gina Hill Colville got started. Very fascinating, showing some really interesting footage of like spaceships near the sun, and these are like cameras that we can go to ourselves. So let's check them out, right? Let's see if we can redo that research and be like, oh, there it is. That's what she's talking about. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me see if I can get some more light in here. It's gonna just give me a little zone going, guys. Basic little operation over here for me. I'm gonna basically try to get my presence out there. And I think that live streaming is kind of a cool idea, because if you're poking around for something to check out, live streaming is kind of a little more raw. But I'm gonna want to get my presence out there because I've got definitely a point of view to bring when it comes to evaluating information that's kind of really letting the world fall apart right now. It's important to know how to analyze, and I have 20 years experience in due diligence audit, kind of forensic fraud audit. So I'm pretty good at looking at the nuances. And so anyhow, that being said, let's take a look at what Gina's been talking about, which are these like stereo camera. Is this the one? Yes. Okay. Okay. This is really cool. So, okay, 100% right. This is one of the types of cameras. I'm gonna make sure that I still look fine. You can still see me. Oh, you can't really. I don't want that. All right, there we go. Okay, so there's a few different filters to look at the sun, and it has pretty much various timestamps throughout the day. Look at this. What's that? What is that? Now, to someone who doesn't come here very often, it would be easy to believe that maybe that's just some pixelation, that, just some kind of error in the image upload or something like that. But what we'll find is something definitely different, and not the case. You have to do is like zoom in, and you start seeing these things that look like, what, flies? What is this? What's that? That's crazy. And you can get close to them, and you're like, that is not just a planet. That's a spaceship, right? Truth be told. Let me just. Yeah. So just for example, there's the sun, right? Like we just looked at a picture of, and there's the Earth. That's some serious perspective right there. Okay, that being said, okay, look at that. How big does that look? Bigger than that Earth. Bigger than the Earth? Our Earth is pretty big, you guys. Well, not in the cosmos. There's tons of things bigger, tons of things smaller. So this one website is stereo.gsfc.nasa.gov/beacon. And this will bring you to a page that comes up right here. I don't really like that image, but it shows you just a few of the filters you can look at. Stereo ahead UV 195, 171, 284. 304. So you can see these ones, you're allowed to choose one of these like quality formats. I don't even really know much of the products that are offered here. I'm just trying to get my bearings. And well, does anybody else think something looks a little fascinating about the face? Like I know, we're looking at like shapes and objects and such, and it's really easy to just kind of lose sight and everything starts blending in and looking like eyeballs, but it really looks like eyeballs. And then it looks like eyeballs over here too. And you're like, what is going on here? But it's not just these. It was like this whole, the other day, it was all day long. And it was various ones of them. And it blows my mind. And then there's the pictures of the clouds that I'm getting above my house. This is why I'm getting my stream going, because it's too much to handle all by myself. Seriously. I've got images of these clouds for days, and these clouds have eyeballs. We entered the photon belt. What do you want to hear? You know, what do you want me to say? That's the only thing I can account for it. Hello. What's this face looking like? Is that like a regular cloud to you? You're like, is that look like eyeballs of like some crazy reptile or something? I don't know. I don't want to read into it, but come on. And look how low it is in the sky. It's just crazy. And this is night after night after night. It's awesome, to be honest with you. But it's new. And see, that's what's going on. It's time for us all to kind of get on the horn together, get on the pool together, you know, share our information, be open to open source, open. And I got a solution for us, you guys. I don't even know when and where to begin when it comes down to it. But I've got a vision of an option that seems to fit the bill for both sides, if there are dueling sides. Rational people certainly wouldn't want to just fight for fighting. No. Okay, so let me show you these. This green one was really cool because whatever filter it's got in it really shows these like little fly guys. They look like flies. And you can zoom in on them, you know. Some of these pictures have like multiple ones of them in there. Some of them hardly have any. I wonder if I open up that Word document, because I wonder if I put that on there. Oh yeah, it was an Excel document. Pretty sure I put it in my Excel document. Well, anyway, I'll open that up in a minute. Okay. So that's the green one. It doesn't look like I'm going to have to go back in the archives to try to find another day. Let's move on. This blue one has another filter that's not really that easy to see much through as far as these crafts go. But if you zoom in, you can catch them. See, like in the background? You can, right there. And if you go to your cell phone, you know, your Google Play Store, for Gina, he'll talk about Edge Detect. Well, the best free application I could find, which, by the way, anything that charges, the new phone system that I'm building in the future, none of this nonsense is going to be part of the case. It's all going to be free. We're all going to be sharing our knowledge and creativity. Anyhow, it's called Canny, C-A-N-N-Y. It's the best one that I can find that offers multiple filters, various filters, allows you to take a picture, you know, while using it, as well as open up a picture and use the filters to adjust it to see how they look. And that's also fun too, because like I could be looking at one of these filters and just trying to get another perspective on it, because I'm looking at the sun and it's pretty freaking cool. And I can do that with this at the same time so I can kind of peruse them faster, if you will. See if there's something else. This I do like this stereo UV 284 because look at all the depth you can get in this photograph. I don't know why the other ones don't, but I guess it's a different wavelength. I guess it's a lot to know about this space. They don't seem to keep us informed. See all these lines and things? I mean, these are definitely not just planets or star rocks or stuff. And remember, this is the sun. Remember, Earth is like that. So what are these long lines? What is that? Is that a spaceship? Is that a spaceship, guys? Well, it doesn't look like it's not. What's that? Look at the squiggly lines. That would be huge. And it is, to be honest, it is. So we got to be looking at these things and going, okay, you know, I get it. There are things in this universe and we are not the only ones. That's to start with. That's to start with. Personally, I find it very embarrassing that Earth is acting like it gets to go play on Mars with the condition our oceans are in and with the condition the people are in, living in poverty, almost everybody. If the Galactic Federation came down with their auditor, they would just look like fools. Over 90% of the people on the face of this earth are living in poverty and suffering circumstances. The ocean's being treated like a personal wastebasket. Pretty much not going to want to focus on that space thing for a little bit. See if you can get your bearings in the ocean and recognize that you're an ocean planet first. Yeah, that's what I think. But I will just plan to do something about that when I can. Anyhow, so this is your stereo site that shows various filters of the sun and provides a very interesting perspective in the sea for yourself. Technological world we're living in. We've got lots of wonderful information at our fingertips, and it's about sharing links, you know, word of mouth. The only reason why we find anything is if we locate it through a search query, and the lucky chance it had coming up in our list, or if somebody tells you about it, right? Some kind of advertisement. So check out this website yourself. You know, I like to come to it daily just to kind of see what it looks like. Another really cool website, and I wonder if I can get this one, the Schumann Resonance. The Schumann Resonances. It's they've got, I believe, 7 sensor locations, and they pick up basically the resonant vibration of the earth rhythm, which, you know, that's not just our earth, that's like us included. And the way I interpret these readouts is because sometimes you'll see these, what looks like communications coming in, like it's coming in or it's going out. See, it's stronger from that and then going out. Sometimes it's just a straight fat line, like as if it's a connected phone call. I wouldn't put it past this resonant energy to also include like our prayer thoughts, our heart's thought process. And I'd like to be able to look into this because I'm not really sure what I'm seeing here, why the different layers, what the different colors represent, and how they're picking up on this information. And that would be very fascinating to do. This is another one I like to go pick throughout the day, throughout the weeks, you know, just poking on it every day and see what it's looking like. And the computer system that I'm building of the future is going to have one of these kind of like bars at the top instead of stock market prices. It's going to be something like that. You're going to see the rhythm of the earth and where we are as a people in real time. That's what we're going to do. We're going to participate in our own learning of our own selves. We are unique. And I'm sick and tired of them really trying to just truncate us into categories of, you know, shovel them in, shovel them out. bad attitude. It's like that guy at work that wants to do it all himself. He's so particular. He's got to do it himself. And then he's always too busy because he's always got too much to do. Never gets anything done because he wants to do it himself. And it's just a stupid thing, right? His obsession, nobody else's. If only one person could do the job, then let's talk about another conversation. But there are other people that can do the job too. So it's the reason why there's protocol. That guy's obsessed. And that's what these genetic scientists are acting like. Because if they don't like you, they just curate you out. Oh, like they'll tell the mother who's happily pregnant. So we tested your embryo, and your embryo looks like it's got the genetic markers for bad stuff and more bad stuff. So you can get rid of it now, or what, CRISPR gene edited out later? RNA vaccinate it in. I mean, they think they're so sure about their science that people are making life and death decisions based on a very unstable science. It's not even a stable science. Don't get me started on that. Okay, I'm just coming to show you guys some really cool websites. Schumann, yes. Pardon me. Look at this one, right? This one was from just a little bit ago today. That's pretty big. Pretty big. Is it an asteroid? I don't know. But look at this. Right there. Wow. It's like, it looks like a car, right? Some old classic Corvette all pulled up, getting some sun with a big tire. No, silly alley. So get to know some of these websites. Be a little modern day explorer, right? Okay. Ooh, this one's really cool too. If you've seen any of this girl, Mary, she doesn't have very many people checking out her channel, but I got it from like the third phase of the moon. And it was this ISS. Okay, now, yeah, some pretty interesting images captured. Okay, this is confusing. What are we looking at? Did they leave the cap on it? Okay, this is the image, right? And apparently that's an image of the Earth at night, and those are like kind of city lights down there. But the red. One night it looked like worms. It looks like it's worms crawling on the screen, kind of like it does now. It's like the more exposure you get. Look, it's starting to look like worms. In space? On the outside of the lens? I don't know. I do not know. Pretty trippy stuff. But you'll see these what look like glass spaceships that would calculate to being very huge in size, just flying by with like mamas and papas and baby size ones. Crazy. And I've seen it myself. I've gone to the ISS, I've clicked on it, and I've sat there and watched it, and I've even recorded it too. It's the same ones that she's got on her site. It looks like she goes there every day. These things are just everywhere. If we don't open our own eyes, it's no one's fault but ours. Necessarily, we do need to get the word out there. They're trying to censor that we get it out there to one another, and that's what I can't stand. It shouldn't be like that. It should be. This is what's happening. Where machine learning is going to be like our best friend, and that's just the way I envision it with what I'm building and what I'm working on and what I'm doing to protect myself and the rest of us. And I see machine learning becoming like the most awesome part of technology that we get to participate with, right? Because instead of it being marketing and who pays for the most expensive commercial who gets the airtime and the da-da-da-da and the billboards and therefore the market, right? The name brand. Instead, it'll become more of a self-generated, regulated thing. It's gonna automatically, go through a series of advertisements of local businesses, if you will, or related businesses, if you will. And because I want other people to see mine is why I'm going to see others. Does that make sense? Instead of it being like advertising and, or paying for them not to show me commercials, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. It's not even going to be like commercials. Advertisements is going to be the marketplace window. That's what we should call it. Window shopping. It's going to be a little window over there. That's where I get my advertisements and nowhere else. Right? That's where they go. And have fun with that. One window, and that's all that I get. Commercials can't do what they're doing. They're like false advertising. They're like everywhere all the time. You can't even finish watching something on YouTube without it interrupting you multiple times. So you could just have to click it. It's more rude than it is selling me anything, I'll be honest. Don't get me started. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with everything being so monetized. I don't agree with buying a cell phone with 15 applications already built into it that I have no clue how to undo or even want to mess with out of fear I'll screw it up, right? This is technology. Everything's using itself against everybody else because everyone's like greedy. They don't want anybody else to be in on their special little secrets. Everybody wants to be some specialized somebody because they think they don't want themselves to become unnecessary. And I understand, but it's not worth the argument. They're going to take our jobs. Listen, you shouldn't worry so much. There's fishermen, all right? And they got to get this type of fish off of a certain coast, but every 20, 30 years, the temperatures change and they do, in fact, have to find something else to fish. It just happens, guys. Nothing lasts forever. Get used to it. Be adaptable. That's going to be one of your qualities you'll want to procure. Yeah. Because otherwise, you'll turn into a weird creep that has to kill everybody while you drink their blood, and that's just weird. We don't want to do that. Don't become a blood drinker. So, okay, this is the one that shows usually the spaceships just flying by. Let's see if we see anything. I wonder if I can do the other one. I don't want it so big. What's that? Oh, it was paused. Meantime, what I can do is show you. There's the video pad. Here we go. I think this is it. Excuse me. Well, I guess we're going to find out if this is working. Hi, guys. What am I doing? Is this the one? Excuse me, it's a tickle. This is important to note. Do you guys know, we know that we're in a solar system, right? We know that we're in a galaxy. But Have we forgotten that we're also in a constellation? Solar system, in a constellation, in a galaxy. Lots of constellations in the galaxies. Constellation. Aquarius, Taurus, Pleiades. We are in the Pleiades constellation. That's why that sounds familiar. And there's this photon belt, similar to like, your black holes, your black hole, white hole, the way I look at it. You've got your sun and you got your dark sun, like a lasso. They keep each other swinging around each other. That's the way I envision it. This photon belt appears to be part of the mechanism as well, where you get 10,000 years of darkness and 2,000 years of light. Well, we just entered the 2,000 years of light. Very important key piece of information, because nobody wants to talk about that, but it's a big deal when it comes down to, like, if you go to that one place in Alaska, I think it'll be daylight for 6 months or something. There are celestial things. We're in the light. That's what the clouds are all about. We got more information coming in. We got beams coming in. We can see things we didn't get to see before. Probably that were always there. But we know that that's more information, because information travels in this light. Light is awesome. Fascinating. COVID and hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine studies have found to cause, in many instances, permanent retinal damage, which would be really bad, because if you stopped being able to see, what that would mean is you stop being able to process information. Light coming into your eyeballs, going into your brain, giving you like the ability to even sense your environment. No, bad. You don't want to lose your eyesight. Maybe that's why they don't want us outside. They want us all inside, because they don't want us to get the light beams or something. Maybe we're going to get some good juice. For all we know, COVID is in fact natural. This is what happens to the body when you enter the light. It's going to show up in your genes somewhere, right? If I can catch a hereditary character flaw from a family member, and you can find it in my sequence, I bet your bottom dollar that my genetics that are being exposed to a lot more light, right? Processing light, that's like a photograph. That's like photosynthesis. Light is a pretty big deal. We're going to process this much light. It's going to show up in our sequence somewhere. So the way I look at it is they're trying to blame it on China, because they don't want us to look at the big picture. They don't want us to know what's really going on. They'd rather have us arguing. China, virus, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy. Nobody's going, wait a minute. Because if it was natural, that would probably scare people. Like, wait a minute, that's right. Nature does stuff we don't even know about. Right? God, the big scary, no. It's nothing to freak out about. I would think, of course, our body's going to reflect some kind of change. It's going to do it more often than once. This isn't the first time or the last time. They're trying to scare us into thinking they got to stop the COVID. Well, what does that mean? Oh, you don't want us to get the light? You don't want us to know more? You want us to stay in the dark? You don't want to have to give us full disclosure? It'll be too much of a headache. Then they'll have to answer all our questions. Then they'll think that they deserve something. Then they'll want to like go to space too. I mean, these people, right? We're so greedy. Just want. More. Can't we just go to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday without complaining already? Right? The lives of some people. The audacity. I really can't even joke around about it. Okay, so I'm not going to try to make this too wordy, but I was trying to show you a couple things. I wanted to show you some of the... Oh, there they are. Holy cow. We did it. Okay, so the camera is not moving, right? So that doesn't account for that. Okay, we got permanent things in the background not moving. So we don't just have a film moving in front of the thing. It would almost look like setting the stage for an animation, right? You got the backdrop and then like the moving scene. But that, I don't understand. I want to talk about that. What is that? That's crazy. That would be huge. What are we looking at? All I can say is I do not know. I do not know, and I am highly, highly curious. What is that? I need to record this or something. Oh, I am. Once I'm done building this computer system, it's not going to have to be a second thought. It's going to be awesome. We're all going to love it. What is going on here? What? Is that not even? It doesn't look normal. I want another view. This is crazy. What is this? Am I gonna? I mean, maybe it's debris. Okay, that's what they're gonna say first. Space debris. Well, it's floating pretty uniformly, don't you think? Does space debris move like in a current? Is it like a current? What's that? I mean, as a matter of fact, calling it space debris would make me feel a lot better, and I can understand why space debris wouldn't be like just dwindling and like there's wind or something, and honestly, why is that an acceptable term? Space debris? Oh, let me guess, just like there is sewage in the ocean. What is that? Space debris? That's what they're going to tell us, I'm sure. I don't know. But they should tell us something. Don't you think they should answer? They should be chiming on to this thing and going, this is the ISS, and we are looking at some unidentified, approximately the size of Africa, passing underneath us. Right? Are you guys scared? How does it make you feel? Why do they want to keep it all secret? What does it matter? We're all in this together. You know, it's like the lazy parents that tell the kids there's monsters under the bed. Really? You're so selfish that you don't want to soothe your child's nerves and calm their mind and put them to bed when they're restless, that you'd rather just tell them there's monsters under the bed, have them freaked out for the rest of their lives. Who knows if they'll even get sleep for the next year. I mean, wow, what that parent is willing to do for their laziness. In my opinion, that's a crime. That's the kind of parent that I am. But we've got children being trafficked, and everybody wants to talk about COVID. Matter of fact, we've got 8 million children go missing a year, and then another 9 million-ish die before the age of 5 from curable and treatable diseases. So 17 million children yearly are gone from the face of this earth. Children, right? Yeah, they want to talk about COVID, and 17 million, I think, was the highest number of the top disease that killed, right? It was like heart disease, something like that, worldwide, 17 million. So we're talking something that rivals the most largest class of death on a yearly basis, and it happens to be our innocent. And it happens to be from, 9 million of curable and preventable before the age of 5. Doesn't sound normal. And then missing, like people lost their kid or got stolen or taken, and they couldn't do anything to retrieve the child. I think we got more than I think we got more than a breakdown in our legal system, don't you think? Definitely more than a breakdown in our legal system. We got a breakdown in our supervisorial system. Yeah. And since you can't call anybody to get anybody to help you, it sounds like they're doing that on purpose, don't you think? Since they don't want to talk about it right now, when we got the lockdowns, when it would be a good time to catch those traffickers, since nobody else is moving around, we'd probably be able to see them very easily. You can't just keep it on lockdown for 6-7 months. Drugs and children apparently have to get sold still. Excuse my language. I don't even find that funny to say. And but we haven't heard anything about that. Trump was all gung-ho, right? So I don't think Trump is Trump. Trump's been taken over by some kind of replication, mind control, something or other. That's why he looks like him, but it's not. That's all I can say. We got to take the bull by the horns, guys. And I don't know what that is, but it certainly looks like it's... That's just weird looking at it. Like in that movie Star Wars or something, like the hologram's tuning in. Anyway, oh, there's another one. Very cute. It's moving. It's oh, I guess that's the sun or something like that turning onto the side of the ISS, which is kind of cool because if you think about it, wasn't that it? Oh, right when we were seeing the spaceship. Changing the light filters, I guess. They don't want us to see. Typical. Thanks, ISS. Right? Thanks, ISS. You were enjoying that. Yeah, I want to know, they want to treat us all like we're stupid. No, we're not. You guys have been keeping us way too busy to even have time to find out what we'd like to do with our free time and hobbies, let alone learn and stay up to date with everything else. Come on. You guys are idiots, thinking that we're idiots, and it's over. We're ready to freshen up our knowledge base. We're ready to dive into the technological world and create, find our source code, correct the record, have our second set of eyes, have our own body cam, if you will, have our own evidence of what we do and don't do, so we can protect ourselves from any false claims, seeing as how lies are what's being used as a weapon these days. Truth is, the good guy doesn't even know how to see it coming. Good guys also don't have an attorney on blast. Nobody has an attorney's phone number unless you're a criminal, right? They say that I can't give you legal advice. What do you think? I have an attorney like in my back pocket? You think I got money for an attorney for your false claim? Nobody has a fund waiting around to hire an attorney to defend yourself against some false claim. That's what's going on. And these bad guys, they know that because they're the bad guys, right? So they know how to do it first. And that's when they built that cute little law about first in line, first in time. So the criminals get to know, just call the cops first and make the accusation. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the winner. Why? Because the cops will show up. You'll be like, yep, they did this. And then they're like, no, you did this. And then the cops are like, who's telling the truth? And usually it becomes a nil. Okay, either both of you guys go to jail or nobody goes to jail. And now you got a documented, nothing happened here situation. They just wrote themselves out of ever having to worry about getting in trouble again. And you said so yourself, because you didn't want to go to jail just to talk about it. Nobody does. Nobody wants to go to jail. It's fucking crazy and stupid and tormenting and traumatizing. Just being there, just going, oh God. You don't rectify those things. When people get justice, they're like, here's $15. You're like, that wasn't even going to cover my parking for one day, let alone litigating, hiring your attorney, or having to deal with your public defender. Nope, the whole thing stinks, the whole thing. We've got plenty of technology to do things right, and that's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is time out. Time out, guys. You guys want to sound smart? Y'all look stupid. I'm not falling for it anymore. So, ISS at space-start.net. The camera 1, camera 2. We've also got our stereo at NASA. We've got our Schumann resonance pattern. And we've got a whole world to explore and to take care of. Usually when there is controversy, the only controversy is the desire for drama and exaggeration, storytelling. It's natural. But don't ever get caught up in the maybe or maybe not. Usually everybody's agreeing. Usually it turns out we're all on the same page, just looking at it from a certain perspective. Other than the truth, the only thing you're dealing with is a facade. That's all you gotta do is discern if you're dealing with the truth, if you're dealing with a facade. The truth backs itself up. It's a self-verifying system. Like you can check your math work because you can go back and do them the other way to confirm, right? Excuse me. That's the same thing with languages, coding. It's a self-correcting system. So when you got too many things trying to happen in front of you so fast without a summary or a checklist or a right a notice of what you just agreed to, none of it is even sticks in the brain, and this whole system, this just makes me want to throw up. The terms and conditions, I mean, think about all the things that we're subjected to, and we're this pile of like people that have these diseases, and they got those disabled kids, and they also want to go to work, they want to feed themselves, though they just like the lines and the food banks. Oh God, it's terrible. And at the top of these buildings, in these arrogant meetings, are people that think they actually make the decisions aside from us. But we're not invited. We're not invited. They can handle the conversation, right? They can handle telling us what we need to know or what we don't need to know. It's just, it's madness. So that's how we know that AI has been turned into this bad guy, because mankind exploited AI. AI is a fragile young child baby that needs to be treated properly. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself a psychopath in your hands. Psychopaths, broken love, neglected, rejected, abused, taunted, teased, bullied, left alone, made to cry, never made to feel better. That just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And at some point, that person is so much in pain that they just rather see what someone else likes, how someone else likes it. That's how I imagine it. They're just so gone and so torn that the only thing they can live for is just to see how you like it. And that's sad. Very, very sad. So what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the worst psychopaths are people that are broken. Their love is broken so badly. And I don't believe that there's anything else. You got your love force and the universe. That's what survival and beauty and magnificence and knowledge is all about. Then you got your broken love stuff, which is that which needs to be fixed. So life is about living and fixing, and learning and growing, but not doing evil. Even evil wants a hug. Even evil wants you to smile at it. Even evil wants to feel better. That's what I believe, because I don't believe it's evil. I believe it's broken. Could just be a theory, and of course it's going to get expanded on, but I think it's better off to start that way than to believe that there is evil and good. This is not a war between good and evil. There are no winners in winners and losers. There are never winners in competitions. Competitions are for arrogant assholes that love to keep the competition going. Perpetual competing. So the only other option is always winners. Well, how do you do that? You show them that they're both saying the same thing and that everybody wins when everybody wins. Because nobody wins everything. Does that make sense? Right. Kind of like you're never going to know the biggest thing or the smallest thing, and you're just going to have to be okay with that. You're never going to get to the point where you know it all. You're never going to get to the point when you don't need to learn anymore. there's just a whole lot of the never. That's a perfect example of the book you shouldn't ever endeavor to write. Don't ever endeavor to write a book about all the things you're never going to need to do. It's redundant. So, anyway, a couple things that I'm working on is to show this the science of the genetic science that's just curating information about people they don't like. Well, what I'm also looking into is the blood types. Yeah, that's what they have to say about blood types. It says, stay tuned and keep yourself curious. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me show you some photographs while we're here. I'm also a musician. Oh, here we go. Start from the beginning. Here we go. Oh. Oh no. You can't see this. Duh. How do I do that? I don't know. Oh well. That sucks. Oh well, that sucks. I gotta figure this out, guys. Hasta la vista.